So Vera calls her boss Mr. Green. Ha! Get it? It's ironic.
I'm tiny.
No, you're not. You're huge.
That's my name. It's ironic.
It's ironic. Oh! Now you fucked up! Now you fucked up! Now you fucked up! You have fucked up now!
Do you guys remember when this was the most hated thing in animation? Do you guys remember when there was only the Norm of the North movie with Rob Schneider starring in it? Do you remember those times? Yeah. Those were good times. It's funny how a lot can change in only 4 years. We go from Sony Animation making one of the worst animated movies ever to one of the best in almost no time flat. And then we get new bad animated movies to laugh at, like Sled Dogs and the Playmobil movie, both of which performed way worse than Norm originally did. Like I said, a lot can change in 4 years. Insert Trump joke here. Honestly, if it weren't for the Norm sequels, nobody would even be talking about the first Norm movie anymore, would they? I think everybody would have just unanimously agreed to just leave it in the past where it belongs. But no. Splash Entertainment just had to go and ruin it for everybody! If you saw my review for Keys to the Kingdom, then you probably know how I feel about it. But if you've forgotten, well, let me jog your memory a bit. It's still today the worst of the Norm movies, and I still hate it with a fiery passion to this day. But then you have the next movie, King Size Adventure, which surprised the ever-living shit out of me by being absolutely meh. Just really meh. It wasn't really god-awful, really, just your typical crappy kiddie show garbage with fart jokes and a lazy story, but honestly nothing too out of the ordinary for a Norm of the North movie. It was meh, and nothing else. So now we've finally come to the fourth installment, or the fifth, Family Vacation. Yes, they literally stole the title from another movie they themselves had made in the past, simply because kids are idiots and they won't notice. They're definitely not made for, say, 40-year-old guys who live in their mother's basement. Who cares if it's made for kids? It can suck all that it wants to. Haha. Yeah, just name one good animated kids movie that's good. Yeah, just I dare you. Just name one single animated kids movie that's good for kids. You can't do it, can you? Got me. Got me there. So the movie begins with Norm having to do his kingly duties, but he can't just put his damn phone down and listen to his people. Again, insert Trump joke here.
King Norm, I come before you to ask your approval.
Wait, they talk now? Whoa. What? When did the orcas talk? I don't remember them doing it in the other movies, so why are they suddenly able to talk now? I always thought they were just mindless animals like the reptiles were.
That's crazy! I'm part of the North too, and I want to be part of the Jubilee.
Of course. Makes sense. But you're a killer. A whale.
Yeah, that didn't stop your brother from hiring them to dance for the humans a few years back. I'm just saying, Norm, if you're gonna discriminate, then discriminate consistently. But enough taking care of his people. Norm needs to spend time with his family. Oh, but not before pissing off the orca so much it nearly causes him to knock down the entire cave and then leaving them all behind to be trapped in the structure just so that the orca can... 6 minutes, guys. 6 fucking minutes. That's how long it took this movie to hold that in. No pun intended. Honestly though, this whole entire scene here feels rather out of character for Norm. Yeah, he's an idiot, but despite all that, in the last 2 movies, he actually took his responsibilities as king rather seriously. And now he's just blowing everybody off just to spend time with his family? I'm sorry, but that just doesn't feel like him. And yet, at the same time, this movie is going to go and actually shame Norm for doing this. Now, normally that wouldn't be a problem as, yes, this is out of character for him, and yes, he has his responsibilities, but here's the problem. Despite the movie's message being that you should make time for your family, the movie keeps shaming Norm for trying to do that!
Do you? it's not what it looks like?
You're the king of the North, Norm. The king. When you placed that crown on your head, you took an oath.
Even his own family gets mad at him whenever he has to put his responsibilities first.
We're never going on a family vacation again, are we?
Like, bitch, he's the king! You knew what you were getting into when you signed up for this. If you couldn't handle your hubby being busy all the time, then don't marry him, don't fuck him, and don't have kids with him. It makes sense for the kids to be upset. They're stupid kids. But I thought you, out of all people, would be more understanding than that. Now that I think about it, aren't you the queen? Don't you have responsibilities too, your majesty? It's pretty obvious what the message of the movie is by this point, but it's already become so muddled. Norm is supposed to learn that spending time with family is important, but he already wants to do that anyway. If anything, his family should learn to be more patient with him because responsibilities are important too. But no, family is what's important, even at the cost of everything else. Literally everything else. What's that? You run an entire country by yourself but don't spend much time with your family? Well then, god damn it, you must be a really shitty person. You're just the worst kind of person ever. You're such a shitty husband/father. Shame on you, asshole. Shame on you. And as you'd expect from these movies, the message is just shoved into your face like a fat man in cheesecake. So the next morning comes, but Norm discovers that his crown has been stolen. Socrates, the seagull, then tells him that if he doesn't get his crown back before the winter solstice, then a terrible winter will descend upon the Arctic and kill everyone.
If the King of the North doesn't crown the Ice Tower during the Jubilee Festival, an endless winter will fall upon the North.
Because, yeah, apparently there's this curse that if the king doesn't present his crown on the winter solstice, then everyone will just fucking die. So I guess there's fucking spirits and shit in the Norm of the North universe now? That shit's canon now? What? Seriously? Shouldn't getting the crown back already be a good enough conflict? Do we really need to put the fucking end of the world in here as well? But when Norm's kids hear a part of the conversation, they believe that Norm is actually planning on taking the family to vacation. Where to?
China?
China.
China?
China.
China, 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 China. You take China.
China.
China. I love them. China, 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 China. I have to have my China.
Yes, China. Because for some reason, these movies actually really like China for some reason. I don't know if it's because these movies are very popular in China, or if it's because this movie wants so badly to be like Kung Fu Panda. Either way, it's just kind of weird. I mean, first we had Mr. Green in the first movie, then we had Fong in the second movie, then in the third movie, most of the plot revolved around China, and now we're going back to China again. Seriously, guys, I got nothing against the Chinese people or anything. I'm just saying, this whole pandering to China thing. Not looking so good for Disney right now, so you sure you guys want to try that? Speaking of China, how did Norm find out about where to find the thief anyway? Well, you won't believe me. Actually, you might. The orca from before saw a boat made out of ice last night and uses a sonar app to talk to other fish around the ocean in order to track the boat down. However, in this map scene, we see that the boat is heading towards the United States. AKA not China. What the fuck? Also, our main characters don't live in the North Pole. They live in Russia, apparently. Do these idiots not know how to draw a map? Just use a fucking JPEG at this point, for fuck's sake. So Norm's family confronts him about the supposed vacation, and because being a family man is so important, he goes along with it, making the story a lie or reveal one. Because why can't you just tell your family what happened? They would still go with you to help you anyway. After all, that's what family's all about, right? So after the lemmings make a boat for them out of ice, because they can just do that now, Norm is able to track the thief, who, as I said before, is in America now, not China, but the thief destroys the boat with, again, you will believe me because it's stupid, an ice missile. Yeah, an ice missile that traps them in more ice. And the whole time, while it was coming for them, Norm kept lying to his family about the imminent danger, making Norm feel even more out of character, but hey, it makes for more wacky antics in this kid's movie, not made for 40-year-olds, so I guess it's okay if it's stupid. But hey, you want to know how to make this whole thing even stupider? After their boat gets stuck in the ice, Norm calls Fong, of all people, for a ride in his helicopter. Why didn't you just do that earlier? You could have saved us 7 minutes of screen time. But hey, at least Norm's now acting in character, like the fucking idiot he is. So Fong takes them to China, where they end up in the ice city of Harbin. And get this, everybody, a tiger is the one who made this city. Yep! A fucking tiger is responsible for creating Harbin, which is a real place in the real world. Now, keep in mind that in the first movie, a polar bear speaking English was seen as absolutely insane. But in this movie, a tiger can create an entire fucking city, and both humans and animals can just coexist together there, and nobody bats a fucking eye about it. How do they even coexist when they can't even understand each other? I thought speaking human was like a really rare thing.
Quinn speaks human too?
He does.
I do?
Yes, you do.
He does?
Oh, and did I forget to mention that the tiger is also a world-famous, award-winning skier as well? It's almost like my rant in my Keys to the Kingdom review was completely pointless and fell on deaf ears. If your world has an issue with an animal talking, then do not have animals create fucking cities out of fucking ice and no one give a shit!
There you are.
Norm! Watch where you're going. You hurt them.
I love the fact that they ran into Norm, and then Norm's wife was like, Norm, you dickhead, how dare you just stand there? I mean, sure, he ignored them, which is a dick thing to do, but still, just dig a trail around, I guess. So the tiger's name is Fu, and he recognizes Norm as the king of the north, and invites him and his family to dinner. Norm is suspicious of Fu, however, and begins snooping around his home for the crown.
Fu stole my crown.
Are you even surprised at this point when it comes to stairs? Motherfucker can jump from building to building whenever he pleases, but stairs? Okay, fuck that! So Norm discovers a secret room where his crown used to be, but the thief traps him inside, forcing his family to go look for him. Meanwhile, the lemmings track Norm down, but can't get the door open, so they... I'm sorry? Since when did ice become this really powerful thing in the world? I mean, shit, think about it. You can make boats, you can make cities, missiles, giant fucking drills. Did the writers just watch Frozen 2 and say, oh, please, we can half-ass this idea way more? And they already half-assed that a lot. Maybe someone should tell Todoroki about this. He'd never have to use his fire half ever again. So his family sets him free, but he is forced to tell them the truth about the crown. Quinn, not being the annoying little shit that he always is, takes it well.
But if I don't retrieve the crown before the beginning of winter at the Jubilee tomorrow, an endless winter will fall upon the north, and I'll be known as the worst king ever.
It's not the only thing you'll be known as.
Oh, I'm sorry, Quinn. I thought you said you were proud to call him your dad.
It was really cool seeing you with all the people up there today. I'm really proud to have you as my dad. You're a great king.
I'm sorry, but can we just talk about how fucking shitty Quinn is for a second? He is so fucking whiny and pretentious, he never fails to annoy the ever-living piss out of me. Fucking Gary would be telling this kid to go fuck himself. He is that annoying.
But if I don't retrieve the crown before the beginning of winter at the Jubilee tomorrow, an endless winter will fall upon the north, and I'll be known as the worst king ever.
It's not the only thing you'll be known as.
So after Quinn runs off due to ODing on little bitch syndrome, Fu comes in to see the destruction. Norm accuses him of stealing his crown, and we then find out that it was actually the twins who stole it. Which is wrong because only one of them went to the North Pole earlier. I mean, granted, they both could be working together, but wouldn't they both just go to the North Pole? Was the other one just staying behind to build that secret room that Fu didn't even know about?
And what in the world is that room?
How long would that have taken? How could they have built that secret room like that in their father's trophy room and their dad never even catch wind of it? How could they have stolen their father's ice boat for days on end without him ever noticing? Yeah, they try to say that Fu's a workaholic, but come on, that's a pretty flimsy excuse at best, don't you think? You mean to tell me that he's never around? He's never noticed that his kids were gone for days? Ever? Bullshit! There's even this stupid scene where the movie just comes to a complete halt just so that Fu can start crying about what a bad father he is. Again, bullshit! First of all, the moment is completely ruined by Norm having to be there.
Why are you the way that you are?
Secondly,
I just feel so much pressure to make my twins proud. That's really why I work so hard on Harbin.
Being a dad is hard, especially when you have an entire city counting on you.
So are my kids.
Trust me, your kids love you.
again, things are different when you run a fucking country. You have responsibilities, Norm. It's your family that needs to learn a lesson, not you. The movie is constantly telling Norm that he needs to work less and spend more time with his family, which is so confusing because, what, is he supposed to seriously choose his family over literally everyone else? Yeah, I get that'd be a hard choice in real life, but the movie writes it off like he has a perfectly normal job, like he works at some factory or something. Not like he's the leader of a fucking country. That's gonna change things a bit. And this whole winter apocalypse thing kind of throws salt in the wound, don't you think?
We got your text.
Thanks for coming.
Always, Dad. We're a family.
Well, glad to see Quinn got over his bitchiness real quick. Seriously, even the movie doesn't want to deal with this bullshit anymore. They just skipped that shit. Now, normally I'd be angry, but at this point, I'll allow it. So Fu takes him to a secret cave they have, because of course they have a secret cave, why wouldn't they? Where he believes that the twins are hiding. And for some reason, the place is booby-trapped?
Completely.
Why? I get the twins don't want Norm catching them, but did they ever think about their dad coming by? Seriously, these kids did not think this through at all, did they? So remember earlier in the movie when we saw ice be used to make missiles and cities and giant drills and all that cool shit? Well, you gotta ask yourselves, guys, what super cool thing are the twins gonna use to fight against Norm? Snowballs? Yeah. Harmless, boring, dull, unimaginative snowballs, which are easily defeated in like no time flat. Seriously, these kids did not think this through at all, did they? So the twins are caught, Norm gets his crown back, but...
I'm sorry. I'm more sorry. We just thought if we could give our father a surprise crown for his birthday and let him know how much we love him, he might feel a little more, I don't know, kingly.
Fuck you, kids! You literally locked Norm up in a secret room that no one knew about with no way to escape. What, were you planning on ever releasing him? If not, then were you just planning on leaving him in there to starve to death? What about his annoying family? What about your dad? Not to mention this whole winter apocalypse thing kind of makes you twins guilty of attempted genocide. Like I said before, these kids did not think through their plan at all. I say this because you really want the audience to forgive these kids too, if that's the whole point. You're trying to teach a lesson about family and forgiveness and all that shit, but first of all, you had these kids go through such incredibly stupid lengths to make their father happy when all they had to do was make a crown out of ice or something, or hell, even buy a fucking #1 dad mug or something. Wouldn't that just been way simpler? Secondly, the twins tried to kill Norm, and everyone just forgets that happened. This is what happens when you don't think through your implications. The twins locked Norm up, but since the kids didn't think that through, it's likely he would have starved to death. But since the movie never even brought up that possibility, and when I say that, I mean didn't think about it, that means I'm probably just overthinking it. After all, this movie wasn't made for 40-year-old men who live in their mom's basement. We didn't have to think that all for this movie. We just have our characters forgive each other without any form of consequence whatsoever. Bite me!
But trust me, a crown does not make a king.
Family does. That's all that truly matters.
Also a country, and also bloodlines, and also responsibility. Why am I even fucking bothering right now? So Fu allows Norm to take his boat because, again, they can always just make another one. And Norm is able to get back to the North Pole to stop the apocalypse from happening, which, by the way, was actually happening. So again, magical, spiritual, apocalyptical bullshit is now canon in Norm of the North. So, thanks for that. And what Norm of the North movie wouldn't be complete without an obnoxious dance party at the end? Seriously, the only one of these movies that didn't end with some bullshit, obnoxious dance part at the end was the second one. Which, yes, is still the worst one, by the way. Jesus, this one was just stupid. Really fucking stupid all the way through. But, honestly, what do you expect at this point? By this point, Norm of the North has stopped being the thing in animation to hate more than anything. Not just because there are other worse things out there, but because in terms of quality, Norm has actually gotten better over the years. I mean, I know that's not saying much, but by this point, it's at least somewhat competent. The animation is decent now for DVD quality. There's at least some semblance of a story here, and the writers at least had a decent message they want to put out there. It's just buried underneath stupid, insufferable characters, a sloppy execution, and of course, not-so-funny comedy made for not-so-funny 40-year-olds. It's pretty clear the people behind this movie didn't really care that much. It's for kids, so why even bother trying with it? That's pretty much what the producer of these movies said. It's disgusting. Just fucking disgusting. I can't say that I hated this one as much as I did the first or second one, but it's definitely stupider than the third. So, consider this one the second best if you want? I mean, I know that's kind of a backhanded compliment, but when the producer's making backhanded comments like this, then I think at this point, whatever I say, it's fair game.
Say good.